Hey guys, welcome back to another video, or welcome if you are new. Today, I will delve into opinions I have about K-pop. That's right, I'm not just reacting to opinions from Instagram anymore. If that's not personal growth, then I don't know what is. In my last video, I masked a few of my own opinions to go with the majority, but I absolutely did not with this video. In fact, I chose opinions that I have never even seen being discussed on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, etc. So, get ready to feel anger, shock, and denial for the next 15-ish minutes of your life. But wait, make sure you like this video or you will see me dancing to Ring Ding Dong in your nightmares tonight, and you do not want to risk witnessing my atrocious dancing. Now, let's just get on with it already. NCTsens can use the too many members excuse when they are asked if they fully stan a certain group. You're probably shaking your head right now, but let me explain. It took me a week to memorize all of NCT's names and some background information on them. However, I've been trying to stan 17 for months at this point, and I've only been able to connect 4 members' faces to their name. It might seem like I'm not putting any effort into it, but trust me, I am. I binge watch unhelpful guides to 17 in my free time and I still have no clue as to who Dino is. If you've been in this situation and you now stan 17, please tell me how. Thank you. The music video for TXT's comeback title track seems bland due to the high usage of filters. Even though the song itself was incredible, I found the filtering of the music video a bit extra. I know that this is not new and many of their songs have been filtered, but that was usually to enhance the color, and the color correction was not too noticeable. Compare that to the near complete reduction of color in I Know I Love You, and you should be able to see from my perspective. What made it even worse was that there was no change in the effects. If it changed according to the scenes, I would not even be writing this opinion. Yet here we are. Jennie or Lisa could have easily nailed Cardi B's part in Bet You Wanna. What I mean here is that Cardi's rap was easily replaceable and not at all limited to her rapping. If you are going to collaborate with such a well-known rapper, why give her a part that sounds like it was stolen from one of the rap line members? It's a mistake on the producer's part. But hey, at least it did not come out sounding like BTS on featuring Sia. Butter was a terribly boring song. Now, I'm sure many other people have thought of this at least once. It was yet another quote K-pop song that was more of a song that plays at Target than one that is proper K-pop. There was no flavor, especially not in the butter poor Hosiak was forced to eat for this one part in the music video. Moving on, I can't even recall a single part of the song, even though I forced myself to stream it for days. My point is that this song is probably the second worst title track I have heard from them, with Dynamite barely beating it out for the title of worst. It's fine for a K-pop stan not to listen to B-sides and still consider themselves as a stan of an artist. I know a lot of alpha stans or whatever hardcore stans call themselves are getting ready to type a long paragraph into the comments section. But let me explain first. In order to stan a group, you don't have to completely memorize every single song in their discography, but it's more of a pledge to support the group members' journeys through music and even other fields. You do not have to have complete knowledge of random B-sides from the group's 4th studio album, no matter what enraged stans on Twitter may say. Most ITZY songs sound tacky. I cannot be the only one who thought that particular parts of ITZY songs were badly made. They just sounded so awkward and odd to me. For example, the Keep Your Chin Up, We Got Your Back part in Dalla Dalla. It just left an odd taste in my mouth. It didn't get better when I tried listening to other title tracks and especially not B-sides. I don't mind it as much now, but it was hella annoying back then and even discouraged me from trying to stan them. Sexualization of underaged male idols is more normalized than the sexualization of underaged female idols. Sexualization of teenagers is a huge problem in K-pop, especially now that the 4th generation is here. However, this disproportionately affects underage boys, who have been more sexualized in recent years than underage girl idols who have been gratefully reclining out of the problem. This is hugely due to the fact that most K-pop stans are teenage girls who often believe they have a chance with the male idols and therefore flock to stages where they are seen shirtless, or doing body rolls. Female idols, on the other hand, are shamed for doing the same thing by other girls. This puts an emphasis on a sexual image for boys and a more innocent image for girls. Like, no one said anything bad about Nikki and many other underage island contestants doing sexual dances on stage, but when Tsuayu danced to a sexual choreo in an elevator, she was called many terrible and offensive things. Somi shouldn't be taking this long in between comebacks. She pretty much just debuted and has not had a comeback in nearly a year. Even though she is one of the most successful rookie solo artists, YG should not be letting her take such a long break in between comebacks. As a rookie, she desperately needs to build a fandom, and although the waiting game worked for Blackpink, there's no guarantee that it will work for Somi unless she drops an incredible album. I'm sure that YG would put tons of effort into ensuring that she comes out with quality music, but it's just not ideal for her. The term Big Three will always refer to SM, YG, and JYP. End of story. Listen up. The Big Three companies are not decided by income levels. They are decided by history and how big of an impact they have made in the K-pop world. I've seen some people trying to exclude SM and YG since they have reported many losses lately. However, SM has been huge in the K-pop industry for decades, and they invented the modern idol trainee system. They also inspired the last two generations of idols to become idols with their artists from Boa to SHINee to TVXQ, even Shinhwa. Profits do not matter when both YG and SM have created such legends, and their low profits are due to the fact that their idols rarely have comebacks. In the case of adult idols, soft stands are just as bad as hard stands. I know that a lot of people may disagree with me on this opinion, but I digress. Yes, hard stands sexualize them to an uncomfortable degree, but soft stands infantilize idols to an uncomfortable extent. Imagine walking up to a random stranger in their 20s on the street and calling them a baby and obsessing over the way they blink their eyes. People would definitely think that you were insane. Now imagine walking up to a random stranger on the street, looking them up and down and coming up with an inappropriate statement about how they would be in bed. People would also think you are insane. My point is, it's bad both ways and you should just stick to being a normal, respectful stan. Versions of songs in different languages, like English, Korean and Japanese versions, are usually worse than their original counterparts. I said what I said. There are exceptions to this rule, however, like the Korean version of Taemin's song Exclusive. However, I find that most versions do not get past this. For example, I find that the English version of Not Shy is filled with less addicting lyrics compared to the actual Korean version. This may be due to the fact that I was well used to the lyrics of Not Shy before the English version was even announced. However, I still think that versions of a song in different languages are inferior to the original. The dance break should have been included in every version of TXT's Blue Hour. I am well aware of how iconic Blue Hour is said to be, even without the dance break. But, if that little bit was included, I would undoubtedly fall in love with it. However, since it wasn't included in many popularized versions of the song, I felt let down and slowly stopped listening to it. To this very day, I haven't touched it since I decided to skip it a few months ago. I will always scrutinize BITE for this decision. iKON songs will never reach the level of Fame Love Scenario got to. I am very sure of this opinion. Even though Kingdom would probably boost iKON's popularity, especially after their stage with Lisa from Blackpink, I still firmly believe that they won't have that big of a rise again. This is due to the fact that BI debuted as a soloist, which would probably draw away all of the solo stans of his who still did their duty as iconics. So, I'm assuming that the fandom size will be around the same. Unless the remaining fandom members come up with a foolproof manner of promoting their faves so they can peak again. I will buy everyone who likes this video any K-pop album of their choice. Get working. Iconics. 100 by Super M sounded low quality, despite the fact that SM invests a lot into their artists' music production. I'm not sure why I get this thought whenever 100 plays. It just sounds so much unlike SM, despite being the title track of SM's first and only supergroup. In particular, the chorus ad-libs always make me feel uncomfortable due to the oddly low quality sound, which usually bars me from listening to it. I feel that something else must have happened during the production of this song. There is absolutely no way SM authorized this to be released, much less to be highlighted. Maybe their recording room burned down and they recorded it on an iPod from the early 2000s? I guess we'll never know. Auto-tuned ad-libs usually sound awkward and out of place in modern K-pop songs. I find that this is always the case. For example, in Bon Bon Chocolat by Everglow, the pre-chorus sounded extremely annoying from the excess of auto-tune. It also made me dislike the song, even though the chorus was addicting beyond what is imaginable. It just sounded so out of place and just something that was randomly added during production. This is what I think about nearly every song that has overly auto-tuned parts to it. There is only one exception here, Ring Ding Dong by SHINee, which gets a pass due to the trends of time it was released. But for every other song, I would like to speak to your producers. Power Up was actually an iconic Red Velvet song. I just realized that not many people find Power Up iconic, and shame on you guys for that. It had everything an iconic song needed. An annoyingly addicting chorus, a full display of amazing vocals, a touch of uniqueness, oddly cryptic messages. Okay, I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but still, whoever has anything against this song needs to go apologize to the closest banana right this second. And even though there was some auto-tune used, it was not highlighted and not overused, which is what I expressed hatred for. Long story short, stream Power Up and make theories about the MV because it's iconic and lovable. The virality of Soobin's Dolphin fancam gave Oh My Girl over half of the fans they gathered last year. Do I really need to mention this? Before Soobin M said with Arin, I thought that she was a part of ITZY. I was a baby K-pop stan back then. What did you want me to do? Then, Soobin's fancam went viral and Dolphin permanently lodged itself in my head. Without this, I undoubtedly would have continued living life without acknowledging the existence of Oh My Girl. Now, think of all of the other viewers of the fancam who fell in love with the song, discovered Oh My Girl, fell in love with many of their other songs, and decided to stan. I don't know who has the audacity to say that they would have been as successful without the popularity of Soobin and his cute dancing skills, but they really have to realize that this is a fact. He's a monster rookie from a huge company, and Arin is from a less popular group from a smaller company. It's obvious that Arin and Oh My Girl got a ton of fans from his MCing. People should not assume that K-pop idols are innocent, especially male idols. I swear to God, you guys are so weird for infantilizing male idols. The average male idol makes his debut between the ages of 16 and 21. The average age boys start watching porn at is around the age of 13. My guess is that all of the male idols and most of the female idols have been exposed to adult movies at least once in their lifetimes. I also think that most, if not all adult idols have been in relationships or have gone on a date at least once in their lives. There's no use denying it when so many idols have come clean about watching adult movies, like RM from BTS who has been watching them since 2nd grade. I'm also pretty much convinced that most, if not all of the NCT members smoke. My point is, there's nothing wrong with adults making choices about what they want to do with their lives. So, stop pretending like they're pure, innocent, little children when they most definitely are not. That's all I have for you guys today. I have an unlimited stock of K-pop opinions rotting somewhere in my brain and I desperately need to do something with them. So, if you guys like this video, let me know so I can make something similar in a few weeks. If you felt personally attacked by any of the points in the video other than the infantilization ones, just remember that these are my opinions and do not necessarily have to be yours. And, if you are confused about literally anything mentioned, leave a comment and I will respond to it within a day. I love every single one of you guys to the moon and back. Goodbye, for now.